YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Pops Harris, aka Medusa. Hey, listen, people. If this your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post a new content. You know, as ridiculous as some things may sound, there comes a time of desperation when no one's looking that you will give the ridiculous a try. Comedian Bill Cosby said that in his concert, Bill Cosby himself. Now, if you actually really stop and pay attention to the title that I actually really named this show, I called it Dave Chappelle, created and directed by Hollyweird. Right now, great fact, for the most part, I hate to actually really eat off of somebody else's plate, right? But at the same time, what I'm about to actually really tell y'all is the great deal of importance. And it's just for the simple fact that I already talked about this guy twice before this so-called before this show actually really came into existence. Just like I said, if y'all actually really remember what I said about Dave Chappelle when he did the whole 8 minutes and 46 seconds piece on Netflix, right? And then he actually really comes back later and be like, okay, well, Netflix, everybody making money off of me when I'm not making no money. So for the most part, he was actually really doing what Monique did or was trying to do, because the thing about it with Monique, what is your actually really material? So the thing about it, I look at it, okay, well, look, if they actually really putting my content out there, right, then I'm just like, okay, well then, yeah, you got every right to actually really doggone tell them to actually really take your shit off of the air. Because especially if I ain't making no money from it, then yeah, you go ahead, you take this shit down. But then again, it's just like what I've always said, people, about the music industry or the entertainment industry in general. In motherfucking general. Right? And I actually really want to say Dave Chappelle, if indeed that is Dave Chappelle, and which I know I said this in plenty of my shows, right? If indeed that's Dave Chappelle, then Dave Chappelle would have spoke up long beforehand, right? Because, and the only reason why I said if indeed that's Dave Chappelle is because me and this guy is the exact same age. I mean, yeah, I got him by a few months, but me and this guy are the exact same age. And if you guys really stop and pay attention on how this guy has actually really changed literally, right? From actual body structure and to actual voice. You can't actually really sit up here, y'all, with your own eyes and ears, right? You can't sit up here and be like, you know what? That's the same individual. Can't be, right? And it's just like, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else. If you guys really think I'm bullshit, which again, this is something that I feel like that I've already talked about, right? But if you actually really go on my Facebook page, right? And then I got a lot of pictures up there, right? And I actually really got a picture of me at the age of 19 years old. When I was 19 years old, I was still in school or whatever. It's a black and white picture, so no motherfucker don't laugh. But the thing about it though is this: I actually really took that picture of me at 19, and then I took another picture of myself at the age of 26. And then I actually really took a picture of me at the age that I am now. Now, other than that first picture being in black and white, okay, I got it, right? But if you actually really go back and look at my Facebook page, right, where that what I look like at the age of 26 versus what the hell I actually really look like now, there's no goddamn difference. And it's just for the simple fact that I've been on Facebook longer than what I have on YouTube. Go back and actually really listen to any of my videos, any of my shows, what I did. And then you listen to me now. There's no change in my motherfucking voice. But do that shit to Dave Chappelle. I dare you. Do that shit to Dave Chappelle. Not only will you actually really see a difference, you also gonna hear a motherfucking difference. And just like what I said, me and this guy is the exact same age, right? I was born in April of 73. He was born in August of the same goddamn year, right? Yeah, I went to the gym, but for the most part, my appearance actually really stayed the same throughout. My voice stayed the same throughout. So whoever the fuck this motherfucking Dave Chappelle is, I don't know who it is. I really don't. But that is not motherfucking Dave Chappelle. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I really don't. And it's just for the simple fact that this last thing that he did, Unforgiven, or so-called Unforgiven, right? Basically, all what the fuck he's actually really telling the people in the audience that the industry, regardless of the vision that you're in, is nothing more than a goddamn cutthroat business, right? But at the same time, when you actually really consider yourself as being a so-called hip person, like Dave Chappelle claimed to be, right? He actually really should have known that shit going in. As much as they actually really talked about it back in the day, as much time that they said, hey, look, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And guess what? You can't, your ignorant ass, and you did it any goddamn way. So now you expect for everybody to feel sorry for your motherfucking ass. No, Pepper, you ain't gonna get that shit from me, right? Because basically what the fuck you just said, and whenever this Unforgiven thing came out, like you actually really said the same shit when the whole George Floyd thing happened, and when the coronavirus is actually like really starting to pick up speed, pick up, wind or whatever. Then your ass actually really get the coronavirus. If indeed you actually really had the coronavirus, it could have brought your ignorant ass in for reprogramming. And your handlers, just like all of the rest of the handlers there in Hollyweird, right? They was like, hey, you know what? There's a glitch in the program. We got to shut this motherfucker down for a couple of weeks. And some motherfucker be like, oh, well, how you gonna do that? Look, tell the motherfucker that he got the COVID-19. So he ain't gonna do shit else. Because for the most part, they already know. You get it, you gonna be shut down for motherfucking 2 weeks, 14 days. Now, if you actually really don't know anything about the motherfucking numbers game, right? You already know that 7, the number 7, according to divine numerology, 7 actually really depicts perfection. So for the most part, when you actually really go out there and you create somebody, after you done actually really killed off this motherfucker, right? And in your eyes, right, then that's motherfucking perfection. You didn't actually really did some shit that for the most part, right, it could be just as smart as you or even smarter. But in all actuality, it didn't actually really go through the whole 40-week cycle that everybody else goes through, right? That's why you got a fucked up list. Or however the fuck they say when you sounded like Daffy Duck or Sylvester the Cat. Suffering succotash, motherfucker. Like, Plain and simple. That's all what the fuck this is. Right? And then it's just for the simple fact that white folks, so-called white folks, right? The material that you actually really putting out, man, that's what the fuck Richard Pryor did. And if you actually really stop and think about it, it's what the fuck Dick Gregory did. And even comedians that was actually really before Dick Gregory, right? You know, I mean, great the fact it wasn't as profound as it was when Dick Gregory was doing it, but just know that it was there. It was the start of it. So Dick Gregory, he took it and he ran with it. And then here come Richard Pryor. He gonna take it, he gonna run with it. Hell with the longer motherfucking Paul Mooney. Eddie Murphy, Robin Harris, you know, a lot of them, they actually really, everybody actually really rode that coattail for as long as they could actually really ride it. And then, just like I said, if y'all actually really don't believe me, right, go back and actually really watch the goddamn video. Unforgiven. It's like 18 and some change, which for the most part, again, that should tell y'all something right then and there. Look at the motherfucking time frame of it. Right? So, you know, so for the most part, right, you know, we all need that one individual, individuals to actually really talk to, when for the most part that you knew that you already knew that you got, once you realize that you got fucked over, then yeah, of course, you're gonna actually really need that body to actually really, that's gonna confide in you and all that kind of stuff, cry on your shoulder, all that kind of shit. But here's the deal with that. Here's the deal with that. Your ass went to Hollyweird. And it's just for the simple fact, and you know, it's what I always talk about with paper. Bullshit paper. Bullshit green and white paper that says the United States of America on it. And they may have a president on there. And I told y'all this, I've been telling y'all this forever and a day. Look at the fine print of what the fuck it says on any American currency, whether it's on a $1 bill, $5 bill, $10 bill, whatever. And it tells you right there, this note is of legal tender, which can be accepted as debt, both public and private, which for the most part, you know, and then again, it's just like what I told y'all, what the fuck happened on August 15, 1971, when Nixon was actually really still in office? They took away the gold standard act. So from from August 15th, which for the most part is roughly 9 days from when Dave Chappelle was actually really born. So if y'all really stop and think about it, when the Gold Standard Act got shot down by President Nixon, August 15, 1971, and 2 years, 2 years and 9 days later, Dave Chappelle was born. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and get into that whole numbers game the way that Zachary do that shit. But for the most part, I'm just actually really trying to give y'all an idea of how this shit works. We all want that money, especially if you actually really in that one, put like this, if you in the so-called wrong part of town and you actually really try to get out of there. So yeah, you actually really gonna take a bullshit deal and you actually really not know what the fuck it is that you actually really signed. But as time progressed, you should actually really know better than what the fuck you signed. Plain and simple. It's no different than what the fuck anybody that is actually really worn the uniform. Because for the most part, the goddamn recruiter got my motherfucking ass. He actually really told me, oh yeah, you gonna get to go in there, you gonna get to push the button, and then you gonna see the motherfucking rocket fly out of the can and hit some shit. Right? But there's no, in 21 years, I never pushed the button. I flipped up a lot of switches. But not now time that I actually push the button to see the rocket or the missile come out of the can and knock some shit out of the sky. That didn't happen for me, right? But at the same time, you know, I'm just like, okay, well, motherfucker pushing the goddamn button, right? Because you can push the button all goddamn day long. But if I don't carry my ass downrange, me and my goddamn hot crew, cut all that shit on down there, put everything in remote, unlock the torque tube handles, guess what? Ain't nothing finna come out of them goddamn cans. No matter how much you push the goddamn button. So for the most part, you know, when I look at this whole Dave Chappelle piece, and it's just like what I told y'all, right? You know, here's a guy, and if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, here's a guy just like most of so-called black folks that come into the industry. Where the fuck they come from? They in like the worst part of the neighborhood, on top of having they either the 12th or the 15th child that the family got. None of the family, none of the mama ain't at home, the daddy ain't at home, because for the some fact, right, shit, we got all these motherfucking kids to look after. So okay, no one person actually really be at the house as far as parents go. And if you actually really just stop and look at, this is nothing more than a motherfucking vicious ass cycle. This is how this is what these fucking motherfuckers do in the goddamn industry, regardless of division. And so for the most part, right, Dave Chappelle, he did put like this: the nigga train that ran out of gas. Matter of fact, the nigga train ran out of gas once Richard Pryor said that he wasn't gonna use it no more. Because for the most part, here's a comedian that actually really brought it out on the forefront in the first place. So from Richard said, you know what? I'm gonna shut this engine down. Right? I'm not gonna put on brakes, I'm just gonna let this motherfucker coast. So here come Eddie Murphy, Robert Townsend, all of the guys that actually really came after what Richard did. And so right now they just riding on, they just coasting it out. And so Dave Chappelle, he's still on it. He only wants, he actually really, and he don't realize that the motherfucking nigga train, the so-called nigga train, that ran out of gas, or Richard went up there and cut that shit off. And you've been coasting the whole motherfucking time. Now that the shit done stopped, ain't nobody laughing at your motherfucking ass no more. So like I said, you just had COVID. You either had COVID or there was a glitch in the motherfucking software. Which one is it? I'm actually really favoring the second half. It was a goddamn glitch in the motherfucking software. And it's just like what I said earlier. Oh, what we gonna tell everybody? Tell him he got COVID-19. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. Because I just heard this shit on motherfucker coming to Hype News. Everybody was getting on Dave Chappelle there, and I'm like, damn, he came back awfully fast after just being diagnosed with COVID-19. And then Pierre, he was like, hey, look, go out there and make your money. Really, motherfucker? So this is what the fuck we do. So all that stuff with Dave Chappelle talking about he got fucked over. And then he actually really talked about the shit on Saturday Night Live. He talked about the shit on Saturday Night Live with his grandfather. It was his grandfather. He was either his grandfather's great-grandfather. But I'm almost about ready to say it was his grandfather. Right? That actually really talked about what the slavery did back then. in which for the most part, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Because again, me and this motherfucker is the exact same age. And my grandparents, or my grandmother, or my great grandmother, for that matter, they never said a thing about motherfucking slavery. All what the fuck they talk about was picking cotton. That is not slave labor. Because at the end of the day, you still carried your ass back to your house. You went on a motherfucking plantation. You actually really went to your motherfucking house. But then again, if you really want to try to go there with this, whether you're on the goddamn so-called plantation or not, you still on the motherfucking plantation. Right? Because great the fact ain't nobody finna fuck with you at your own goddamn house. But then again, they still will fuck with you at your own goddamn house. So all this bullshit with motherfucking Dave Chappelle is talking about, dog, just admit it, you got fucked over just like everybody else. And you actually really think this shit is cool because you sitting up there with you sitting in your bullshit ass chair, smoking your blunt or whatever, knowing damn well this shit is illegal, depending on what fucking state that you in. Now, if you actually really just up there smoking, then okay, I got it. But at the same time, don't sit up here and act like really trying to play the bullshit role on every goddamn body else. Your ass should have known this shit when you went in. And then who's to say? You might did know it before you went in. But guess what? You did it anyway. Plain and simple. I mean, like seriously, let's be reasonable about this shit right now. Let's really be reasonable about what the fuck is going on now, or is what has always been going on with the motherfucking industry, regardless of motherfucking division. It's been fucked up since day one. And I'm just like, hey, look, read the contract, motherfuckers. Read the contract, Dave Chappelle. Because apparently that ain't what the fuck you did. Because if you really would have did it, your ass wouldn't actually really come out there with that motherfucking unforgiving shit. Plain and simple. It's that motherfucking easy, people. Now all of a sudden this motherfucker wants sympathy? No, Pippin. That ain't how that shit go. It would never actually really go like that. I mean, and great fact, I really could care less who's actually really trying to come into the business. Now, whether they're already in or they about to come in, right? The nigga train stopped rolling once Richard Pryor said, hey, look, I'm not gonna use this word no more. It stopped right then and there. You was coasting, baby. Plain and simple. And for whatever reason, I guess apparently you don't know how to count to 5, motherfucker. Like, seriously. Or you don't know how to count to 10. But then again, 0 ain't nothing but a motherfucking placeholder. So it's actually really counting from 1 to 9. But again, it all depends on how you look at this shit. Right? But again, people, and just like what I told my homeboys on the channel now, which they actually really doing the show right now, right? All what I'm saying is this. All what I'm saying is this, people. Know what the fuck you actually really getting into. Across the board. On any motherfucking subject out there that's possible. Know what the fuck it is that you actually really getting into. Like, seriously. Because it's just for the simple fact, if you actually really used to looking at the sentence, the baby 40. But then all of a sudden, the motherfucker, they gonna say, well, the baby flagellant. Ask questions. Or your girl could be like, well, I'm famished. But the whole time you've been used to hearing the word hungry. Right? But again, it's the same shit, but it's just for some fact, if you ain't never heard it before, let alone seen it, and then all what the fuck you looking at is goddamn dollar signs, which again, I already told y'all about that. I told y'all about how that money works. But at the same time, though, again, they're like say, you try to get out, which I ain't got no problem with. Go ahead and get out of your surroundings. Go out there and actually really create a life for yourself. I get all that. But at what motherfucking price? And and again, the thing about price, motherfucking price, right? I know what the motherfucking price is. Now, I could actually really steal a quote from Adam Sandler and say, hey, well, the price is wrong, bitch. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to y'all, right? Because here's the deal. If you actually really know the exact price and to actually really know when to pay the exact price, then you'll be okay. Because I'm going to give you a hint. The one viewer that's watching right now has already paid that price. So with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street around the corner. Paulus Harris, aka the Medusa. Domino, motherfuckers. I'm out of here.